Me. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to my very first tutorial on how to make a zombies map in Black Ops 3 Mod Tools. Oh yeah, feels good saying that. All right, so let's get this show on the road, fellas. Let's open up Launcher. So we're gonna go over to Steam. Now, it kind of bums me out that you have to go over to Tools and then you go to Black Ops 3 Mod Tools. Now, it kind of sucks that it's not under Games. Now, we're gonna fix this. That way it'll show up on our taskbar or else it'll show up in our start menu. So what we're gonna do is go to Steam, go to Library, go to Tools, and then we're gonna go over to Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Mod Tools. We're gonna have that selected. We're gonna right click. We're gonna go to Properties, and then we're gonna go over to Local Files. Click on that, and then we're gonna click on Browse Local Files. Click on that. Now it's gonna go to the root folder of where Black Ops 3 is installed. So we're gonna go over to bin, and this is the folder where Mod Launcher and Radiant Mod Tools is. So we're gonna highlight Mod Launcher, right click it, and we're gonna go to Pin to Taskbar. That way it'll show up down here. It'll be easy access. So we're gonna click on that, and then we're gonna go over to Radiant Mod Tools, right click it, and go to Pin to Taskbar. There we go. Now they're both on here. So now we could avoid having to go through Steam. So easy access. All right, so let's get the show on the road. Let's open up Launcher. That was kind of loud. All right, so first things first, if you don't already have a startup map, go to File, go to New, and then name your map. Now, you should always start off, let's say if it's a zombies map, you should start off with ZM underscore and then whatever you want to name your map. So mine is going to be ZM tutorial. And then you have to select the template. So we're doing a zombies. So we're going to go over to zombie mod level. Click on that and click OK. Now this is a script placer built in. So it already built all the files we need to load up our first game. Gonna click OK. And then now we can actually select it. And then we're gonna build this map. That way we can take a look, make sure everything's running good. So we're gonna select compile, we're gonna select lights, we're gonna select link, we're gonna select run. Now over here where it says full and ENTS, that means entities. Now let's say if you were running Radiant and you already had your map going and you already played in it and you changed something in there, which is maybe you added some more brushes, you added another wall. Now you would just click on entities and it'll compile just the entities. Now let's say if you did a whole bunch of other stuff, then you would click on full. Like me, I always leave it on full. That way it'll compile everything, just in case. You never know what you're modifying. So over here is the tab for the lighting. So if you want low lights, medium and high, you would click that and it will affect the way you compile. So if you click on low, it'll render out a low level lights and the compile level will finish up faster. So me, I'm going to leave it on medium. Once we're actually fully done with the map, I'm going to put it on high and then build it. So for now, it's good on medium. So now that I already have ZM underscore tutorial selected, I'm going to build this map so we could go into it and test it, make sure everything's running. That way we can open it up on Radiant and then start creating our map. So we're going to click on build. Just give it a few seconds, let it compile all the information. It feels weird looking at this new Radiant Black Edition. It's getting me hype. Can't wait, people. Now, we're going to start building a fresh map. I've checked a bunch of videos online and everybody's always starting off with the template map. Now, we're going to use the template map, but we're going to basically start mapping in a different area and we're going to basically hide everything else. So we're going to build the map from scratch. We're going to move over the parts that are already in the world, and then it'll be as if we had a fresh map to start with. I kind of came up with this because I see that nobody else is doing that, so might as well. So let's give it a try. Let's see how it goes. Now, this is the first of many of tutorials I'm going to come out with. We're going to start off with baby steps, and then we're going to start excelling from there. So let's start off with the basics. All right, so the map is loading up. Let's check out this baby in action. Make sure everything is good to go. Just give that a sec. Take a quick swig from my vitamin water. Make sure the throat ain't parched. And let's give it a few seconds, and there we have it. All right, cool. So the map loaded up. It's good to go. I have all these items in the world. Now we're gonna start mapping over there, and we're gonna hide all of this so we don't have to see it while we're mapping. And then we're gonna just move over the parts, move over the zombies until we get a little bit more familiar with everything, and it'll be as if we started off with a fresh map. So let's start that off right now. So I'm gonna exit out of this. Peace out, Senor Zombie. I shall return. Oh, heads are blown off. I'm sorry, sir. Alright, come on. I want to jump into Radiant now. Alright, so we're going to start off with building the first room. Because I don't want to use this template map. It sucks. I want to feel like I'm actually doing it. So I'm going to take you guys along for the ride. Alright. And same thing, like let's say if you already loaded up a map, you could go over to you can hit the little squiggly line, and it'll show up with this on the top, and I guess you could load into your map. But it's so simple nowadays that you could just go over to zombie mode, and let's say if I'm doing a private, and you just go to change map, and your mods show up, so you can just load your mod like that. So it's pretty easy nowadays. Alright, so let's get out of this. Yeah, I want to quit. Yes, come on. Let me go. Yeah, I know the control's not connected. Damn it, let me turn it on so it can let me out. Okay, it's connected. Are you happy? Are you happy? Come on, tell me you're happy. Alright, we're gonna exit out of this. Alright, cool. Alright. Now that we have a launcher open, like the one I'm gonna be building our first map on is gonna be ZM tutorial. Now either you could open up launcher or Radiant just by right clicking on it, I guess Radiant, and go to open map in Radiant. Or else you could go over here to where we put the tools, and you could just load up Radiant like that. So click on that, click on Radiant. Let it load up. Alright, now the way I have it set up is that it's like the old school World at War. Now if you want to do the same thing, all you have to do is just click on, let's say, the 2D window. This is the information on it. It's XYZ top. So I can left click on that and drag, and once it highlights in blue, that means where it's going to put the window. So of course I'm going to leave it there like that, and then the camera, just bump it over here, and the tools, well, the textures and everything else, you just bump it right here. That way if you press T for textures, it'll make it disappear, and then I'll have a clear view of the 3D. And same thing, if I want to open up the surface inspector, it'll show up over here. It's pretty easy access. Now another thing that I did is update on drag. So like, let's say I'm moving around in the 3D window, and you can actually see that my 2D camera is moving along with it. Now let's say you want to do that too, so you know where you're at. So go over to settings, go over to preferences, there you go, click on camera, And you're gonna make sure this is checked. Update XYZ on drag. So make sure that's checked. That way your camera will move and you'll know where you're at. So click apply, click OK, and there you go. Now it's set. So move around in the 3D window, you see the camera moving too. That's cool. Alright, so let's open up our test map, which is ZM underscore tutorial. I'm gonna click on that. I'm gonna go to ZM, that's where it is. And here it is, ZM tutorial.map. So I'm gonna open that up. It's gonna open up the test map. And here we have it. Alright, cool. Why is my character rising slowly? Is it my control? Yes, it is. Okay. Now, just in case you guys didn't know, you could plug in your control and you can move around in Radiant, which is pretty cool. Like, I'm pretty used to the mouse, so I'm not going to be using this, but you guys could use whatever you want. So I'm going to turn off the control. And I'm going to use the mouse. That way it'll drag around a lot faster. Alright, so this is the test map. Now, we're going to be mapping over here as if it's a fresh new map. Now, I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to go to the white where it's intersecting. And I'm going to start my box right in the middle of this. Now I'm going to go over to grid and I'm going to put it on grid 8, which is number 4. So if you press 4 on your keyboard, it'll put it to grid 8. And that's what we're going to be mapping on. So I'm going to drag out a line on the left side of the intersecting lines. So I'm going to go 5 out. There you go. I'm going to go 5 up. Alright. And I'm going to go 5 down. There we go. And we're going to go 5 across. So now it's 10, 10, 10, and 10. That's going to be the size of our first room. Now I am on the top view. If you don't know how to switch your views, you hold Control and Tab and you switch over. Now I'm going to put it under this line so I know where the floor starts. Alright, cool. Now let's say you want to build your first box or the first room. You could drag up. There you go. Now it's a big box, size of a room. Now you see when I hit Control Tab, this is in the way, the old map, well, this test map, and our box is all the way over there. So with our box being selected, press I on the keyboard and it'll deselect our box and select everything else. Now I'm going to show you why we're going to do this. Press I on the keyboard with it's being selected, and as you can see, it deselected our box and it selected everything else. Now we're going to hide all of this. Press H on the keyboard and it'll hide it. That way it's as if we have a fresh map. There we go. That's sweet. Alright, so now that, well, let me move over to it. You can select it, that way it's easier to find. There we go. Get on over there, buddy. There you go. Alright, now the box is now hollow. And as you can see that the hollow tool is not up here if you're used to World at War Radiant. That's the save button just in case, don't freak out. Alright, so we're going to go over to selection with the box being selected. And we're going to go to CSG. And over here it has hollow, it has merge, and it has subtract. So of course this is the hollow tool, so we're going to click on hollow. Now remember, it is going to make the size of the walls the size of your grid, which we're on number 4, which is grid 8. See? Alright, so that's cool. So now we can go inside of it, press escape, and as you can see, we have the box room. Alright, so let's texture this. Press I on the keyboard, and it'll select everything. Now I'm going to go over to my textures, which are right over here. Let me get rid of the surface inspector so we can see it better. Move this up. Now I'm going to go over to tools, and I'm going to put a cock texture. Right now it's all in use. Now these are all the textures that are in the map right now. And remember, it's from the test map, so those are textures we're not even using. So we're going to click on all, so it'll show us a new set, or basically all of the ones in game, or it's in the assets. So we're going to click on cock, double click it, there we go. Now this is the first room we have. Alright, now let's fix these intersecting lines. As you can see, they're all merged in together. So we're going to select this side and this side. Doesn't really matter, they're all the same side. Oh, I can still see that, but we're going to make it disappear. Alright, so move it in. That way they're not intersecting. There we go. And select all the walls. Control tab, switch view. We're going to bump it down and bump it up. And there we have it. Now it's all good to go. Alright, now let's select all of these so we can make that test map disappear. Press I on the keyboard. Remember, it deselects our box and it selects everything else. Press H and it's hid. Now, let's say if you want to hide it completely, you know, what you want to do is you want to press F on the keyboard to bring up your filters. There you go. And the filters are different. Of course, it's new. So right now, game view, skybox, how can we add a filter to it? Oh, actually, this is filters, yes. What we want is layers. So press L and it'll bring up the layers window. Actually, did it? Let me close this. Press L. Oh, it's got to be hidden under here somewhere. So let me bump this up. Oh, there it is right over here, layers. So it did work. All right, cool. Now, as you can see, global is our whole map. So if I click on this box right here, it'll make everything pretty much, I think, disappear. So what you want to do is you want to click on the map, because that's everything in the map. You want to right click and you want to click on create new layer. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to put starter underscore map. You can name it whatever you want. But this is going to be all the items that Treyarch already put in this map right now. And then we're going to have ours separate. So I'm going to click OK. Now it made a layer. Now we're going to add all those other brushes to this layer. So I'm going to hold shift and press H and bring back the test map. So I'm going to select mine. Select all the items, just the box, because that's all we made right now. There we go. I'm going to press I. That way it'll deselect ours and select theirs. And then with it being selected, you want to go to starter map, right click it, and we're going to go to add selected. Click on that. There you go. Now if we press escape, there you go. Alright, now as you can see, we have our map over here, and that's the Treyarch map right over here. Now if we go over here and we press the circle, oh, it didn't make it disappear. Alright, right click it, and let's see, it should be somewhere here that'll say hide. Oh, actually, you click on this part right here, and as you can see, it disappeared. So now when we render out the game or we compile the game, that's not going to show up unless we press and put the H off. There you go. See, now we left it with the H on there, so it's hiding it, and it's going to be permanently hidden from the game, and we can just work on our map. All right, cool. So now that we got that done, it's good to go. All right, now we can start mapping out this room. All right, so let's say you want to make like a roof with a little slope, like a real house. So now that we've made everything even, we can cut right in the middle of this. So press X on the keyboard, put two lines, Hold shift, press enter. There you go. Then you back up. It's right over here. As you can see, it cut that brush up and it left it into two pieces. So I'm going to hit escape. I'm going to select one of them. There you go. I'm going to back up a little bit. I'm going to press E on the keyboard. This is the edge tool. So press E and you see it comes out with three dots at the ends. Now you only want to move the dots that are in the corners, not the ones in the middle, because it's going to deform it. So we're going to get rid of this window. Alright, so I'm going to left click on this dot and move it up. There we go. Now it's giving it like the edge of a house. So hit escape, select the other one. There you go. Press E for edge. Grab that top dot, move it up, and hit escape. Now if we bring up the Z window. Oh, that's cool. Alright, let's bring back the camera. And as you can see, let me get rid of layers because we're not going to be using that right now. As you can see, it looks like a house. And we can go inside of it. Now the top part is not hooked up yet. So we're going to select one piece of it. Remember, we're on grid 4. Well, grid 8, number 4. So I'm going to go to select with the brush being selected. Go to selection. Go to CSG and go to Hollow 2 again. And there we go. Now we can delete these pieces. There you go. Delete that one. That one's not done yet. And the floor. And as you can see, it's looking more like a house. Alright, so let's do it to this one. Selection. CSG. Hollow. Bow. Press escape. Select that part. Delete it. Select this part. Delete it. And there we have it. Now it looks like a good old school traditional house. Alright, let's texture this up real quick. So hold Control and Shift and left click and it'll select the faces. There we go. Select that one, select this one, and let's go over to textures. Now we're gonna go to usage. Right now it's on tools. We're gonna put it on interior wall. Click on that and it's gonna show us all the interior wall textures. So we're gonna look for a texture, something cool for the inside of our house. You don't want anything that says decal or transparent because you're basically gonna see through it and you don't want that. So let's look for something basic. If you want the textures to be viewed a little bit bigger, scroll this up and you get a good clear view of what the texture looks like. See? Actually that white one's pretty cool. So we're gonna double click on that. Let's show the 3D window. Now, I don't like the way this is looking. So we're gonna hit S on the keyboard and it'll bring up the surface inspector. Let me pop this window out so you guys can see it better. Now, here it is right over here. Now we can hit set and it'll change the way the texture's looking. Bow. Ah, that's a lot better. Either hit set or let's click on default. Let's see what default does. Ah, it looks even better. Now, there's also set, cap, matrix, natural, light map. Now, these will work great depending on what you're doing, like if you're using patches, but we're going to get into that later. Or else you can use horizontal, bow, or vertical. There you go. Or both, vertical and horizontal. And there you go. There you have it. Alright, so let's hit escape. And there you go. Now the textures look even better. So that's what the surface inspector does. Like let's say if you want to shift the texture, you can go to horizontal shift and start moving it up. Whoop, you gotta have the texture selected in order to do that. Let me go over to textures, click on that. And as you can see, it looks different from the other ones. So select them all, just click on both, and it puts it right back. And you can also modify it by going horizontal shift. It'll shift it horizontally, or else vertical shift, horizontal stretch, vertical stretch, rotate. So like let's say if we want to rotate this texture, click on that and it'll rotate it. Now that's the cool thing about Surface Inspector. Alright, so this is already done. Let's do the top part. Now remember, this is just the first room. You know, I'm just going over the basics. Once you guys already know the basics, we're gonna start speeding it up. But I don't want you guys lost in the process. So we're gonna look for a ceiling texture. So go over to ceiling, hey, spider webs. All right, let me shrink this down, icon size. Oh, we can see this better. Let me get rid of the surface inspector. Let me shrink this down a little bit so we can see these better. Oh, that's cool, that pattern. So we're gonna double click on that. Press escape. And you see it looks really small. So once again, we're gonna click on the surface inspector. Press S. And we're gonna go to set. Bow. Oh, that's even bigger. Alright, so we're gonna select it again because I don't like this one. We're gonna go to default, and that's better. There you go. Look at those patterns. Let me make the window a little bit bigger so you guys can get a good view. And there we have it. Now, when we hollowed this top part out, it left two pieces. So we're gonna delete those. Delete that one. And select this one. And you see it's right over here. We're gonna delete that piece. Wow. And color these top ones. And let's say if you want to look at the textures you're currently using, you don't want to keep jumping back and forth through here, press U on the keyboard and it'll be for usage and it'll show you the textures you're using. So I'm gonna bump it with this one and there we go. Now let's look for a floor. Hold Control and Shift, left click, go to usage, floor, and let's see what floor textures. Actually click on all because it's gonna show you all in use. And let's pick out a floor texture. This one's cool. There we go. Alright, so it's kind of the pattern's repeating. So surface inspector, press S. Let's go to default and bow. There you go. Look at that, man. Damn, these tools are cool. Alright, so this is the first room. Like in the next video, we're gonna start building a zombie window. We're gonna start putting some zombies in. And it's little by little, man. I'm gonna show you guys how to put the box, how to put the weapons, and it's hopefully it'll start off pretty good. We're gonna start doing lights, and then we're gonna start doing FX, X models, and it's, you know, start jumping into the game and playing it, see how it comes out. All right, so hit that like button and subscribe for future videos to come. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.